friends and guests, on behalf of our City Council, I want to thank you for allowing me, because see, we invite ourselves to come and give you our State of the City. One thing I can pledge to you is tonight's State of the Country from our President will be a lot longer than mine. So, and being a Rotarian for many years, I do know if I talk over 15 minutes, y'all will be gone and I'll be speaking to myself. But I will not talk about health care reform, I promise you. For the past 25 years, I've always done this right after New Year's, and to give a review of our city's accomplishments and outline our plans for the new year. I must tell you that never in over a quarter of a century has our city faced more challenges than it does today. I asked Fonz, by the way, to put some talcum on the top of his head so it won't burn my eyesight. It sort of obliterates my eyesight, but anyway, he didn't do it. I truly believe that the real measure of a strong community isn't the challenges that it faces, but how the community and its leaders rise to meet the challenges. When it comes to courage in the face of adversity, willingness to work and work together is the way this town has always been, and the leaders, even back with Paul Cash and beyond, have always worked together to make things great in this city. In times when funds are tight, people are always curious about Morganton's financial picture. That is only natural, and I'm going to address that in the very beginning. At the outset, let me tell you that our city is, as it always has been, in very sound financial shape. Our annual audit was concluded without qualification and has again been awarded a Certificate of Excellence in financial reporting for the way we present our audit to the state of North Carolina. In Morganton, our financial house is in order and our budget is balanced. But that balanced budget was not reached without great sacrifice. And I believe the year ahead will be filled with more of the same. Our city's general fund budget, and remember some of these figures, our city's general fund budget for 2009-2010 is 27% lower than the budget for the year before. Our capital budget, the money for our buildings and equipment, is down 79% this year. In spite of challenging economic times, and despite the fact that the real property values in Morganton are virtually unchanged from last year, our tax collection rate continues to exceed 99%. In fact, we remain among the top cities in the state of North Carolina in collecting taxes. On the downside, because of the decline in the financial markets, our interest income has dropped to about the level that it was 10 years ago. I dare say many of you have seen exactly the same thing in your 401ks or IRAs. Because retail sales were lower last year, our sales tax revenues were lower as well. In fact, the total sales tax revenue for last year was below what it was 5 years ago. The half-cent sales tax collections were about what they were in 2005. And motor vehicle taxes were the lowest they've been since 2003. The beer and wine tax, not ABC revenues, but the tax collected on sales of beer and wine, dropped to the same level as it was in 2005. And starting this year, the state's going to grab 2/3 of that money from us. And we're expecting other grabs from the state to help balance their budget. The Powell bill funds that we use for our roads are collected on fuel sales. That's going to be the lowest it's been since 2003. We were able to see some profit in our water and wastewater funds last year, but that was largely due to curtailing capital improvements. In spite of these financial hardships, we will still pick up your garbage, enforce the laws, fight the fires, and provide the finest recreational activities in the state of North Carolina, and all the other services that our citizens expect. All of us on the council insisted that we must not cut services. But without additional revenues, I must tell you that the city will surely come to this tipping point one day in the future. That day isn't here yet, but it could be on the horizon unless we're able to grow our local tax base. What are we doing to help this situation? First, we're continuing our participation and support of Burke Partnership for Economic Development and are joining with other public and private interests in the county to establish a new position at BPED, and will greatly expand our efforts to bring new jobs to our community. We've also employed an economic marketing company to help us tell our story to foreign companies in the hope of having some of them invest in our community. You see, I believe there's no smarter or more dedicated or willing workforce anywhere in the country than right here in Morganton and Burke County. The days when Drexel and Henrydon were our largest payroll in the county may never ever happen again.